So after watching that video, there are two very important variations of the experiment that I want to point out. The partner variation and writing answers. Both of those changes in the experiment greatly reduced conformity. The people were less likely, or the individual was less likely to conform when that person was given a partner and when they got to write their answers instead of speaking it out loud. So let's look at the first point, the partner variation. So you noticed in the video that when Solomon Asch gave one of the Confederates or made one of the Confederates a partner of the naive subject, he would say the correct answer. And that emboldened the individual who was the naive subject to say the right answer each and every time because someone was agreeing with them. Now think about this. Think about arguments or disagreements that you have with someone and you say, well, Lisa feels just like I do, or John feels just like I do. They said it too. You're bringing someone in to support your position. And when you have someone supporting your position, when someone has your back, so to speak, then you feel more emboldened. You feel more courageous in going against the group. So it's important that someone supports you when you have to make a difficult decision or when you have to challenge the group. So if you've got somebody that has your back, it's a little bit easier to do that. Now let's look at the writing answers variation. Solomon Asch was a genius. He decided to tell the naive subject to show up at the experiment, let's say 10:30. So the person shows up at 10:30, and when they get there, the experiment is already in process. Or progress. So he would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I must have given you the wrong time." Well, since we're already in the flow of things, instead of saying your answer out loud, you just write it down. And that's what the naive subject would do. And almost each and every time, the person would write the right answer because they didn't have to verbally challenge the group or say something different than the other group members. Now think about how that works in real life. When you evaluate your teachers or your professors, oftentimes you do that anonymously because then you can speak more freely. Because most people won't say what they really think about a class or a professor if they think it will impact their grade. So if we were in class and I had you fill out an evaluation form, I would tell you to leave your name off of that so that way you can speak more freely. If you have a job where there's a suggestion box where you get to kind of write what you're concerned about in the workplace, but they tell you don't put your name on it, then you're more likely to speak more freely. Think about the internet. Think about the people we call trolls, the people that say real mean things online. But they have a profile picture that looks like a cat or a cactus, and then they've got a different name than their real name. They speak more honestly about how they feel, but they never tell you what their real name is because then you'd be able to trace them to those terrible things they've been saying online. So you see, when people are able to write their answers as opposed to verbalize them openly, they're less likely to conform.